I promise, Vortex, I'm not just driving really slow. I'm in the slow lane for a reason, though. It's because I'm really not concerned about getting to my destination any faster. And you really don't get there that much faster anyway. People just think that. Maybe I'm just lying to myself. But no, we're stuck in really bad traffic right now. So there's road work in half a mile. That's what the sign says. That's what the sign says. Oh, hello, sign. Hello, sign. Let me talk. It's because people are so boring. They don't know how to communicate in a way that would benefit them. I know that social networking was a grave mistake. I had sexual intercourse with a guy that I met on myspace after I'd talked to him maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't remember. But I do remember his name was Seth. And that's really about it. Didn't know much else. And I have to live with these things that I did, so self-destructive. Nobody has to live with my past. That's why I don't give people that much flack for making mistakes. A lot of people are very easily persuaded by the world they live in, or by their best friend, or by stuff that they see on the internet. By stuff that they see on the internet. What kind of stuff won't you see on the internet that's gonna make you convinced that it'd be cooler if you did this thing that don't make sense? You're gonna fit in. It'd be cooler if you dressed up like the opposite thing, all because you don't understand yourself. You know, I changed my name a bunch of times when I was in 6th grade. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, remember the 2 weeks that your name was Jade? For whatever reason, I wanted to be named Jade, and I was telling everybody to call me that. And my teacher was the only one that obliged. Because she was crazy. I can only assume that she was like a communist or something. Well, here's the thing. I don't have any issue with like calling people whatever they want to be called, mainly because I'm not going to make an issue out of that. I'm sorry. That's just not the one. I feel like that's way too trivial for me to make an issue out of that. But I understand the bigger picture of that and why it's a bad thing. Because when you're telling people to call you something that doesn't go along with the actual thing that you are, you're basically telling people to lie. You know, all because you're lying to yourself. And I understand, like, you don't have to explain that, you know, gender dysphoria is a real thing. I mean, I got this shit myself. I'm not asking people to call me sir. They do that shit on their own. They do. They really do. As you can probably hear, you know, we have a very masculine voice some of the time. We do all kinds of voices, and people don't know what to make of that. I'm just so grateful that I'm not growing up right now. So grateful, dude. I mean, I thought that growing up in the 90s was bad. I had no idea how much worse it was going to get. I mean, I figured it was going to get worse, but in regards to, you know, gender and everything. And it's really because they legalized homosexual marriage. And people started obsessing about sex. I don't blame gays for that. I mean, most gays don't even want to get married because they just want to fuck random people, you know? So, not all of them. No, it's a stereotype. It's a stereotype for a reason, though. You got dudes that are like bragging about banging total strangers at a bathhouse, you know? I mean, why do you think so many of them took that fucking monkeypox thing? That thingamajig? Why do you think they took that shit? Because they're fucking whores. And they don't want to stop engaging in that totally hedonistic lifestyle. So they just take some medicine that they can say prevents you from getting some disease that you probably already have. So I just read this in Jeremiah, okay? God is advising Jeremiah to not have any kids because he's saying that all these kids are going to die from a disease or famine. Does that sound familiar to you? I mean, definitely makes sense out of my life, though. Though I'm sure, like, you know, normies wouldn't understand. Like, look, I'm a prophet. I don't have time to have children. I'm prophesizing. I'm too busy in my head thinking about all these things that are going to happen. And it's like, if you know what's going to happen in the world, why would you want to have kids? Why would you want to bring children into that? If you know how bad things are going to get. I mean, that makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to somebody that just now figured out that pedophiles run the world, or they just now figured out that they can't trust the system, you know? If they didn't already know that, they're never going to know that. That's why the red pill thing is so fucking stupid. Because it's a bunch of blah 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 blah. I'm getting too excited talking about this. Trip over my words a lot. But it's like people that are patting themselves on the back, jerking themselves off all over the internet. That's what the internet is. It's a giant circle jerk. And they're just like so proud of themselves for figuring things out now that they should have figured out a long time ago. I think that they're just mad that they didn't already know this. And so they're trying to act like they're saving the world or some shit. How can you save the world when you couldn't save yourself?